Hello, and welcome to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update in English. My name is Todd Goldfinger. Here are today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. Heavy snow bookended the United States on Tuesday with a late season storm bringing a messy morning commute to the Northeast and California. Residents digging out, or in some cases, simply stranded after yet another storm. Schools across southern New England either closed for the day or delayed opening as the most significant snowfall of what has been a mild winter hit overnight. As much as 7 or 8 inches of snow blanketed some communities by sunrise. The snow complicated the morning commute, but few major problems were reported on the Boston area highways. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority, however, reported power losses that affected signals on multiple lines and stations. Even after power was restored, residual delays were expected, the MBTA tweeted. Most flight cancellations or delays were concentrated in the Northeast. There were over 450 flight cancellations in the U.S. and more than 650 delays by mid-morning, according to FlightAware.com. Next news. The Supreme Court is taking up a partisan legal fight over President Joe Biden's plan to wipe away or reduce student loans held by millions of Americans. The High Court, with its 6-3 conservative majority, is hearing arguments on Tuesday in two challenges to the plan, which has so far been blocked by Republican-appointed judges on lower courts. Arguments are scheduled to last 2 hours, but likely will go much longer. The public can listen in on the court's website. 26 million people have applied, and 16 million people have been approved to have up to $20,000 in federal student loans forgiven, the President Biden administration says. The program is estimated to cost $400 billion over 30 years. In quotes, I'm confident the legal authority to carry that plan is there, President Biden said on Monday at an event to mark Black History Month. The president, who once doubted his own authority to broadly cancel student debt, first announced the program in August. Legal challenges quickly followed. Next news. More than half of the residents in the slice of Miami that includes Little Havana were born abroad. And when Republican U.S. Representative Maria Elvira Salazar ran for re-election last year, she won by 15 percentage points. The GOP's dominance of Florida's 27th congressional district is emblematic of the party's inroads with Latino voters in recent years in much of the U.S., and especially in Florida. Those gains helped Governor Ron DeSantis decisively win re-election last year and contributed to the GOP taking back control of the U.S. House. That strong showing, however, is leading to some tension as the newly emboldened Republicans in Washington aim to launch an aggressive agenda, particularly around immigration policy. Salazar is among a handful of Republicans pushing back against a sweeping proposal being considered in the House that would restrict asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. Next news. When Jimmy Carter stepped onto the national stage, he brought along those closest to him, introducing Americans to a colorful Georgia family that helped shape the 39th president's public life and now, generations later, is rallying around him for the private final chapter of his 98 years. In quotes, Family has always been important to Uncle Jimmy, said Kim Fuller, whose father, Billy Carter, was the former president's younger brother and a favorite subject of national political reporters drawn to this family of Washington outsiders. Carter has long outlived his nuclear family, including his mother, Lillian, and Billy, both of whom featured prominently in his political life, bringing charm, occasional scandal, and even a forgotten brand of cheap brew. Billy Beer, the former president's most constant political partner wife, Rosalind, remains by his side as he receives end of life care at their home in Plains, Georgia, the tiny town where they were both born. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update in English. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is fighting for re-election Tuesday after a history-making but tumultuous 4 years in office and a bruising campaign threatened to make her the city's first one-term mayor in decades. Lightfoot, in 2019, became the first black woman and first openly gay mayor of the third largest U.S. city and only the second woman to hold the office. But Lightfoot, a former prosecutor and head of a city police review board, now faces serious challenges from multiple candidates who have hammered her over crime that spiked during the COVID-19 pandemic and a leadership style they say is unnecessarily combative. With none of the 9 candidates likely to receive over 50% of the vote, the race is expected to move to an April runoff between the top 2 vote getters. Lightfoot may not be among them. Lightfoot has touted her record of investing in neighborhoods and supporting workers, such as by increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour. She also notes that the city has navigated unprecedented challenges, such as the pandemic and its economic and public safety fallout to protests over policing. Next news. California's coronavirus emergency officially ends Tuesday, nearly 3 years after Governor Gavin Newsom issued the nation's first statewide stay-at-home order, and just days after the state reached the grim milestone of 100 deaths related to the virus. As California's emergency winds down, such declarations continue in just 5 other states, including Texas and Illinois, signaling an end to the expanded legal powers of governors to suspend laws in response to the once mysterious disease. President Joe Biden announced last month the federal government will end its own version May 11th. The end of California's order will have little to no effect on most people as Newsom has already lifted most of the state's restrictions, like those that required masks, closed beaches, and forced many businesses to close. It offers a symbolic marker of the end of a period that once drastically altered the lives of the state's nearly 40 million residents. Next news. Mabu saunters across a grassy field and raises his long gray trunk to wrangle food from a hole carved inside a large boulder, captivating the attention of a girl propped up on her father's shoulders. At this zoo, in a Central California farming community, the 32-year-old African elephant is key not only to drawing visitors, but also to ensuring there are elephants for zoo goers to see in the years to come. A future some animal lovers want to avoid. Over the past year, the Fresno Chaffee Zoo has been pulled into a growing global debate over the future of elephants in zoos. In recent years, some zoos have phased out elephant exhibits due to the complexity of the animals and their needs. Still, others like Fresno Zoo say they are committed to keeping elephants and are returning to breeding, arguing that a sustainable population of zoo elephants will help spur a commitment to wildlife conservation among future generations of visitors. Next news. Fox corporate chairman Rupert Murdoch acknowledged that some Fox News commentators endorsed the false allegations by former President Donald Trump and his allies that the 2020 presidential election was stolen and that he didn't step in to stop them from promoting the claims, according to excerpts of a deposition unsealed Monday. The claims and the company's handling of them are at the heart of a defamation lawsuit against the cable news giant by Dominion Voting Systems. The recently unsealed documents include excerpts from a deposition in which Murdoch was asked whether he was aware that some of the network's commentators, Lou Dobbs, Maria Bartiromo, Janine Pirro, and Sean Hannity at times endorsed the false election claims. Murdoch replied, "Yes, they endorsed." The Murdoch deposition is the latest filing in the defamation case to reveal concerns at the top-rated network over how it was handling Trump's claims as its ratings plummeted after the network called Arizona for Joe Biden, angering Trump and his supporters. We're going to take a short break from the daily global English news of Millennium News TV 24/7. Please stay with us. Thank you.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Hello and welcome back to Millennium News TV 24/7 Global News Update in English. Here's the continuation of today's top stories. Thank you for being with us. A company that operates a century-old hydroelectric dam near Mount Rainier National Park and its chief operating officer each pleaded guilty to a single criminal count Monday in connection with a spill of synthetic field turf and the tiny rubber particles used to make it in the Puyallup River in 2020. The company Electron Hydro, LLC, also will pay $1 million that mostly will go to projects to restore salmon habitat. The Puyallup tribe of Indians, which has treaty rights to fish in the river, blasted the plea deal, saying it doesn't come close to accountability, and noting that its biologists continue to find chunks of field turf and rubber beads in the river. In quotes, "This is a mere operating expense for the company," end quotes, the tribal council said in a written statement. In quotes, "The health of our people and the residents of Washington is worth a lot more than that," end quotes. Next news. Arizona's Republican-controlled legislature has for years entertained a host of unsupported theories about fraudsters manipulating election results since Donald Trump's loss in 2020. But lawmakers reached a limit for what they will tolerate last week, when a day-long hearing about elections ended with a presentation accusing a wide range of politicians, judges, and public officials of taking bribes from a Mexican drug cartel. Republican leaders raced Monday to distance themselves from the claims after they caught fire over the weekend on social media, where accounts that routinely share unsubstantiated claims of election fraud covered them widely. It was an embarrassment for an election fraud movement that has mostly found a sympathetic or at least tolerant ear among Arizona legislative Republicans. Next news. Parts of the southern plains counted the injured and surveyed the damage Monday after tornadoes and other powerful winds swept through, killing at least one person in Oklahoma, while some Michigan residents faced a fifth consecutive day without power following last week's ice storm. In California, the National Weather Service said winter storms will continue moving into the state through Wednesday after residents got a brief break from severe weather Sunday. Parts of the Northeast that have seen little snow this winter were under a winter storm warning. And forecasters warned of continued high winds in parts of the plains and of thunderstorms and possible tornadoes in the Ohio Valley. A look at the weather threats around the country. A storm system produced at least 4 tornadoes as it moved across central and northeastern Illinois on Monday, including 2 that formed in suburbs west of Chicago, authorities said. Initial reports suggested damage there was limited to fallen trees or shingles torn from buildings, said Rafael Agorek, a meteorologist in the Chicago office of the National Weather Service. Next news. The record-breaking heat Earth endured during the summer of 2022 will be repeated without a robust international effort to address climate change. A panel of scientists warned Monday. Heat-related deaths, wildfires, extreme rainfall, and persistent drought are expected to become increasingly severe as both ocean and atmospheric temperatures continue to rise, the experts said. Even if all greenhouse gas emissions cease today, Earth will continue to warm for several decades. The presentation, Earth Series Virtual, Blazing Temperatures, Broken Records, featured a multidisciplinary panel of scientific experts from Columbia University. Radley Horton, a research professor at Columbia's Lamont Doherty Earth Observatory, stated that human-induced climate change has caused the global average atmospheric temperature to warm by about 2 degrees, that's 1.1 degrees Celsius, in the last several decades. This has been the daily global news update of Millennium News TV 24/7. My name is Todd Goldfinger. Please log in to get the latest news on all of our social networking sites. That means Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. On TikTok, we are Millennium News 24. Also, our YouTube channel is News Channel M24. Viewers, now on both network broadcasting Android and iOS devices, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, also all smart TV platforms. Please enjoy our entertainment, our latest news, views, and editorials, our Millennium TV apps, Millennium TV USA Android, Millennium News Google, www.millenniumtv24.com. Please stay with Millennium News 24. We love you. We thank you. God bless. Peace on earth.